Hello and welcome to CIPD Bitesize. In this video, we're going to be looking at AC 3.2 from the 5HR01 unit, which is analysing the key causes of employee grievances. Now, with all CIPD Bitesize videos, the first thing that we do is we break the question down into its component parts, and we've done that for you, which is analyse. Key causes is kind of a secondary here of employee grievances. So analyse the causes of employee grievances. You're being asked to analyze reasons for employee grievances. It's not really the key causes. How can you define key and stuff like that? But that's kind of what it wants you to do. It wants you to look at the causes of grievances as opposed to the pros and cons of grievances, because why would it? So as always, what we will then do is we'll break the question down into its actionable points so that you can have a plan of action about how you're going to attack this question. And we've done that into creating 2 action points. So first and foremost, let's look at the verb. To study or examine something in detail in order to discover or understand more about it. Analyze. So action point 1, review research paper 1. Action point 2, review research paper 2. Research, stats, and even more stats. Analyzing key causes of employee grievances means that you need research, evidence, reference citations. What are the causes? What's happening? Why is this happening? Research, evidence, stats, and even more stats. That is how you pass this, because you've been asked to examine something in detail. And evidence is detail. So as always, what we say is in the top left-hand corner, you put AC 3.2. That's how CIPD want you to lay out your work. AC 3.2 in the top corner of your, and then action point 1 is, so your subheadings. Action point 2 is your second subheading, which is key cause of employee grievance. Key cause of employee grievance 2. 1, 2. Example 1, example 2. Absolutely fine to do it that way. That means that when the marker and the moderators or anyone's looking at your work, you can go, that's a distinct summary of the paragraph below. That's a distinct summary of the paragraph below. That's what subheadings are. Subheadings are a gateway to go, I have done a lot of research on this. Now, in 5HR01, you get 3,900 words for 10 questions. So you get 390 words per question. You should be aiming for around about 200 words per action point on this particular one, because you are reinforcing and evidencing through research so your points on this. So you should be on these particular questions gunning for at least 2 references, citations per action point. So, and that should be a stat, so a statistical evidence-based proof to examine something, and it should be sort of more of a CIPD led, this is what is done. So again, as can be found, key causes of employee grievance are this, which can be found by this evidence, because it showed that an increase in this by this. And this can also be reinforced by CIPD's research that has been done here. Evidence, stats, research. Now we've broken it down into some places where I would recommend that you go. People management, workplace conflict costs. So again, if you're analysing the key causes could be a range of things, but again, what's costing businesses money, that's what businesses will research a lot more. So you'll get a lot of more evidence around conflict costs and the key causes of grievances when it comes to things, because if, for example, you have a grievance with an employer because you've been unfairly dismissed, that will be a workplace conflict cost. That will be something that will have a legal follow through on it. There will be more evidence for that. So it's a really easy way to approach the question. CIPD fact sheet. CIPD love you to use CIPD. I think I say this pretty much on every video. And then ACAS guide for disciplinary and grievance at work. Again, ACAS as employment law specialists, they're going to be looking at things like what are the key causes, what are the main things that we get drawn into. You can really see some key causes from the research that they've got in there, and all the information and evidence for this will be within below this video, so you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to get the most up-to-date information and things, and we'll make sure that it's all there for you so that you can be successful in the unit. But remember, stats, evidence, reinforcement. Not just a single source, two sources would really benefit from these particular questions. Now, as always, we then give you a bit of an analogy, just sort of something to help you understand the question, put a bit of a context around it, because obviously these are just words and questions and what do you need to do. So for this, I want you to imagine a garden. Now, my wife's been watching quite a lot of home garden SOS thing at the moment, so that's probably where this one's come from. But imagine a garden. A healthy, happy plants are your employees in this situation, and they thrive when their needs are met. But if problems with the soil, work environment, the watering, management, sunlight, compensation, the plants will start to wilt and complain. Grievances. Analysing the key causes for employee grievances, like inspecting a wilting plant to identify what's wrong with its environment, is the root rot, workplace conflict. Underwatering, lack of support, or not enough sun, feeling undervalued. By understanding the root causes, you can step in and fix the problem. So again, if you're trying to analyze the root causes of what is causing these plants to wilt, how do we stimulate? Now, it could be bad bosses, it could be lack of training and development, it could be that they hit a glass ceiling. What are the causes of their grievances? What are they unhappy about? It could be that you're dragging them all back to the office because nobody can work from home anymore. There are a whole reason things, there's a whole lot of research there to help you analyze the cause of employee grievances. And like any situation, there needs to be that balance there so that people get the most out of it, so that people can perform well, and those that can't perform well will tend to have grievance about something. And how do we find out what they are? How do we help them? How do we support them as HR professionals to make sure that we minimize grievances? There's always going to be grievances in the world of HR, but how do we minimize them? How do we seek them out? How do we find out what's happening? And there's a whole range of ways you can do that, through exit interviews, through surveys, through polls, through bringing employees together and just having an open forum. But analyzing the key causes mean that you can always keep your organization on the right side of the main issues that organizations have. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you do have any questions, obviously you can reach out to us at any time, but best of luck, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.